All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Bite Size Panel Edition, where we take a quick but deep look at the human condition at home, at work, everywhere. I'm your host and show creator, Peter K. Weiner, and MAPS business coach. And today we have a panel of two joining us who are here to discuss today's topic, which I will reveal shortly. Welcome, Schad Gibbons, fitness coach. He helps his clients lose weight, gain strength, and take ownership of their bodies. And he has overcome his own battles with weight and self-image, which I'm sure we will hear more about. And also, let's welcome once again business owner, real estate investor, and business coach Jake Clendenning to today's bite-sized panel. All right, and our first-time guests always go first. So, Schad, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and a little bit of your history, and maybe something that we can discover about you that we wouldn't have discovered otherwise.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Schad. Thank you very much, Peter, for having me on today. I'm extremely excited about this. I love having opportunities to just share a story and also hope that somebody can hear this and get some sort of motivation or inspiration from today's chat. So I'm a fitness coach, personal trainer, whatever you want to call it. And I've been in this game for 10 years now. I got into it by transforming myself. I was an overweight teenager and had no confidence, no self-esteem, and I started to research, what should I eat? How should I exercise? Started doing exactly that. And within 6 months, lost a lot of weight. And when I graduated high school, I was no longer a fat, chubby kid. I was a much stronger, lean, young man. Very happy about that. And then I decided, hey, I can help people with this too. So I went down the route of getting my personal training certificate. And from there, 2 weeks later, started working at LA Fitness, haven't stopped since. And now I work on my own. I'm actually in my gym right now. Environment matters. So this is the place where I feel my best, is in my gym. So that's why I'm doing this video in the environment today. And what I currently do is mostly virtual training with some in-person training, just given the climate of today. What do I expect from clients? I expect you to show up. And something you don't know about me, I love video games. You wouldn't think that fitness people don't have video games, but I love video games. I love RPG video games. The one I've been playing the most is called Dark Souls.
Okay.
That's me.
All right. Thanks, Schad. That's awesome. I love your energy, and I'm really glad. I was hoping you'd be in your gym. So maybe we can do a demonstration later. We'll see how it goes.
All in, all in.
All right, Jake. We know Jake. He is a MAPS business coach, and he is an incredible coach. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jake.
I am so excited about the energy Schad is bringing today. I am stoked, and it's an injection for me today that I needed. Quite honestly, I am so excited about his energy, and something he already said that's a great nugget. Environment matters. Right? The environment you're in matters in so many places. Peter and I have talked about this a bunch of times, so I wanted to refer to that. So good. So yeah, I'm Jake Clendenning. I'm a transformational business coach with MAPS Business Coaching, or Business MAPS Coaching now, as we have done the rebrand, and worked with Peter quite a lot. As well as that, things that we don't know. Boy, what can I say that we don't know? We've covered a lot of stuff, and I will play with that. So I'm a movie junkie. Whereas Schad is, I'm very physical. I'm outdoors. I do a lot of things, and I am a movie junkie. I love them. I actually watched Forrest Gump I can't even begin to tell you how many time. It's well into the hundreds at this point in the life of that movie. The other night, just because I just needed a good feel-good movie. So, yep.
I can relate to that. If Blues Brothers or the Poseidon Adventure, the original one, comes on, it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. I'm always going to watch the rest of it.
Yep.
Same. It's a Wonderful Life also. Those are the three that I seem to watch all the time. All right. So today's snippet is entitled Showing Up, and in it we'll explore how we present ourselves and maintain our environment, and how that environment can have a huge impact on our personal and professional success, as well as the way we show up. So let's take a look at this clip and see what happens. All right, let's roll it.
You may have heard how you show up here is how you show up everywhere. Now, what does this mean to you? And more specifically, what does this mean to you right now? Take a look around. Well, let's start with where you're sitting. Is it dark and dismal in your space? Or is it sunny? And do you have airflow? Are you staring at an unmade bed because you work from your bedroom? How do you suppose that impacts your day? What are you wearing? Did you used to wear this to work? And how many days have you been wearing it? And while we're on the topic, how many days has it been since you've had a shower? And why aren't you wearing any shoes? Would you show up at work like that? You know, getting dressed and putting on your work shoes might not seem like that big of a deal, but it is. It delineates when you're on and when you're off. And more importantly, it defines how you're on and how you're off. Otherwise, it just kind of becomes this big, fuzzy, depressing mess. And how about meals? Do you have a designated place where you go and eat lunch every day? Or are you hoovering snacks while you sit in front of your laptop and talk to your boss? Oh yeah, no, I'm listening. Oh no, I'm just having a snack, no problem, I can hear you. No, go on. We all need boundaries to function well, or it can take its toll on how we show up. Most people in the workplace practice some form of clocking in and clocking out. Our day is defined by drive time, morning work time, lunch time, coffee breaks, bathroom breaks, afternoon work time, and most importantly, quitting time. Ideally, you want to show up to work energized, clean, appropriately dressed, fed, caffeinated, and alert. And those are just the norms. So doesn't it make sense to maintain the integrity of those norms at home? So the next time you hit snooze for the 5th time because you don't have a Zoom call until 10, or you roll out of bed wearing the same thing that you wore yesterday, think about this. How long would you want to work with someone that shows up like that?
All right, so let's open up and dive a little deeper into this. Let's start with Schad. What was your key takeaway from this video?
So the key takeaway was that seeing how we have like almost all of the population, most people have transitioned from going to work and their habits have all changed. And so instead of showing up as they would show up at work, they're changing these things around. Maybe they're not even wearing pants on the interview. I mean, you don't even know if I'm wearing pants today. And I think that that's kind of saying like, hey, if you want to be more productive, you need to show up as if you're actually going into work. Show up as if you're leading into an interview where you're trying to get a promotion. Show up in that way every single day. Show up like you're going to do your best.
Absolutely. And how does that apply to how you show up with your clients?
That applies. So for me, it's a big thing because I'm here to train people. I'm pushing people through things they really don't want to do. I mean, think about it. It's exercise. Most people don't want to do that. That's one of the reasons why I get hired as a personal trainer, is people don't want to do it themselves. So if I show up sleepy, looking sloppy, with no energy, or if I have a negative attitude, what's that experience going to be for the client? It's not going to be a positive one, I can tell you that. So that's why I got to show up and be on point and have that energy. And that also helps me get more energy too, because I'm seeing them, the energy is transferable through that. So as a trainer, it's really important for me to show up like all cylinders firing.
I can't imagine you showing up anywhere with low energy. Jake, what stood out for you in the video?
So the thing that stood out in the video, and Schad makes some great points, right? Energy is transferable. What a great statement around that, because it's true, right? If I'm going to show up to his gym, and he's right, if he's going to be like, hey man, what's going on? You ready to get started today? Then I'm probably going to put in about, 50% of the effort that both of us have agreed we're going to do. The same is true in coaching. If I'm going to show up complacent and just, I don't care what you're talking about today, then it's not gonna provide that best thing for the client. You know that. So I love that. What showed up the most in the video were a bunch of D's I thought was really interesting. So designate, delineate, be deliberate, and don't get into distraction. All of a sudden it just started happening that way. And I didn't hear that before when I watched it before, but designating that schedule, to Shad's point, delineating your space of what it's going to be and moving forward with that. being deliberate in how you're traveling forward in your day, and then avoiding that distraction, knowing distraction's easy, right? We're all really good at that because, what's going to happen if I'm working out and I'm at Schad's gym and I'm supposed to be doing like 5,000 burpees today and my phone rings. What am I going to do? I'm running for my phone, man. I'm going to go after that distraction. So just not allowing distraction to come into your life so you can focus on the task at hand. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
So yeah, and it really is about chasing distractions. That was a really interesting way to look at it because, being at home, I think the example I used was the unmade bed. It's kind of beckoning you to go back to it. And in the case of Schad, it might be, oh, you know what? I didn't finish that video game. I'll just get one more in before the training and maybe be a little less prepared when you get there. So let me ask you this, Jake, because I didn't ask you this question. How has it affected how you show up with coaching or with professional meetings?
So how it showed up for me is I got Zoom fatigue very, very early in this experience when this started happening, because there was so much. Everybody tried so hard and did a great job of let's stay connected. Let's stay connected through media of some sort. And for me, it got exhausting because I had to stand in this space. Here was the space I was in, was this 3x3 spot. I've never spent much more than 45 minutes, an hour in a day. Now I'm here for 8 hours. So now what do I have to do in my bunker to make sure I'm showing up with the energy I needed to have it? So it was, much to Schad's point of how he became a trainer and got there. We all had to learn that as coaches, is how to show up in this space because it wasn't the same space we had before.
Yeah, absolutely. And Schad, how did you make the adjustment? I mean, you went from being face to face with all of your clients to being virtual with them. So what was that like for you, and how did you compensate for that?
It was a little challenging at first. I thought I didn't have the confidence in doing it. I just thought that my service was going to be less than, because it's not in person. You don't have that personal touch. And I thought that it's gonna be harder to transfer the energy through. But I realized if you take a look at this, there's a difference between me looking here and me looking here. See that little difference? And I noticed that makes a massive transformation between when you're speaking to people. So I learned, all right, I got to look through that lens, that when I'm speaking directly to my clients. And I have to bring my energy up a little bit higher to make sure that the energy transfers through the ether of the cell phone to their television. So really, the first 2 weeks were a little bit, but then after that, I was like, oh, I got this. This is just as good. I know I can train my clients. I just got to tell them, hey, just face right or left so I can see from the side. Hey, face this way. Bring your camera up a little bit. And those minor adjustments make it seem like I'm there with them in their living room training them. So really, it wasn't that much of a difference. And because I have this amazing setup, I'm very, very grateful and lucky to not have to be somebody that has to create a corner in their bedroom to work. So I'm very grateful that I have a great environment to do it in.
So Schad, what do you do, or what did you do at that time to get your energy up, to prepare for that?
For virtual training?
Yeah.
Good question. Daily discipline.
Another D.
Yep. Daily discipline. What that means is in the morning, I have a series of things that I do, just a series of steps or habits. They're not always the same. Sometimes I'll change them. Sometimes I change the order. The ones that are always constant are this. I wake up at first sound. Now I will say this, it was really difficult when I didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. anymore, when I was able to sleep into 6 or 7 to wake up on first sound, but not snooze, just to get up. First thing I do, 5 minutes, I just get on the floor and I start moving my body around, stretching, doing lunges, just movement, no intention except to move for 5 minutes straight. Then I'll make some coffee. I'll go outside in the cold, and then I'll drink my coffee while also explaining what I'm grateful for. I'll meditate for 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll write down 3 to 5 wins. What are 3 to 5 things that I need to do today in my personal, business, and relationships that's going to help push those forward, just one step forward. And that's how I get ready for my day. And I do that out of 7 days a week. I do it probably 5 days out of the week. Oh, sometimes won't do it on Saturday or Sunday.
Just the idea of unintentional 5 minutes of any kind of movement, that's so easy, and it gets you out of bed. I really like that idea. That's an excellent tool.
Yeah.
What about you, Jake? What do you do to prepare your energy?
I get up, I drink a glass of water is the first thing that I start with hydration. I'll go out, I'll start the coffee to start brewing. I'll physically do that, and then I will do my 5 minutes of movement. After that, while the coffee is brewing is when I do my 5 minutes. And then while I'm drinking my coffee, I'm going to do my gratitude journal. We've talked about this before in previous episodes of that journal that I do. And it's very specific gratitudes about what I'm grateful for in the last 24 hours. Not the big ones. It's the what has happened since I wrote this yesterday that I am grateful for. So I work on that one. And then it's a little bit of self-growth time, reading and or an audible for a little while I'm just sitting quietly in the morning. And then I'm going to move again. And then I'm going to start the day after that. But that's basically my morning routine. And it's the same way every day. We try to do the same thing, even on vacation. I'll take my journal with me so that it doesn't throw things off. And that was a challenge to get used to doing that, because you can get distracted. We'll go back to that word again, real easy by your environment changing.
Right. Yeah. You take yourself with you. So why not take your good habits along with you too? Right.
Exactly right.
So Schad, let me ask you something just out of curiosity. Do you believe that accomplishments create happiness, or do you believe that the level of happiness creates your accomplishments?
Choose happiness, but never be satisfied with playing below your potential.
Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yep. No matter where you are, if you're in a pit of crap, choose to be happy. Make the best of the situation. Because if you think about it, all happiness is a mindset. And a mindset is something that you have the ability to shift in and out of. It's not that easy. I know if you're surrounded by pig crap in a pit, it's not going to be that easy, but it could be worse. There could be rattlesnakes in there biting you, injecting venom. Yeah, that'd be worse. So always think about that way. Choose happiness. But if you know deep down inside, when it comes to performance, that you're consistently playing below your potential, that is something that you should never choose to do. Because if you know that if you did your absolute best, you should be happy. But if you didn't do your best and you failed, well then learn from that. Learn from that lesson and that mistake.
So what experience in your life drew you to that philosophy?
I'll give you an example here, okay? Last Wednesday it was raining and my girlfriend went to work early. She's been working at home, and when she wasn't, I was like, you know what? I'm going to skip my daily discipline. And I got 3 hours in the morning and I did something I never do. And I decided, I'm going to play some video games. And what that did was led me down a path of distraction and just let me do the bare minimum possible. Just get the work done so I could play some more video games. Yeah, it's kind of like a drug. And that right there is me choosing to be happy, yes, but also choosing to play below my potential. And at the end of that day, I was frustrated with myself because I knew I hadn't really done anything. I didn't have any wins for the day to set up, and I didn't do anything except to train my clients to the bare minimum possible. But that's because I decided at the beginning of the day that I'm going to just subject myself to the easiest thing possible and choose pleasure over hard work.
And that brings up a really good point, and I think, and I think in the video, it kind of addressed it too, that when we're only accountable to ourselves and maybe a Zoom call here or there, that we're going to kind of let the other things crack away, and I think a lot of people went through that at the beginning of this COVID, situation, and then realized that the source of their depression was a lack of accomplishment. So I throw this to you, Jake. What is the difference between hedonistic happiness and true happiness? It's kind of taking it to the next level after what Schad said.
Our happiness is measured differently, right? I know when I'm the happiest, so that's a different thing. So I can choose to do the things that make me the happiest And to Shad's point of just choose to be happy. When you are, true happiness is when you have made the decision that I am happy, and because I am happy, all other things are easy and or unnecessary. When I strictly choose happiness, and sometimes happiness is the hard choice, right? Shad made a great point of, I'm going to pick the easy button and I'm going to do the easiest thing I can do today. And yet in the end of the day, that probably, okay, I might have eaten something I didn't eat. I didn't move. My body didn't feel good. And it spoke to me about how I should have done that. So sometimes happy is actually the hard decision. We have to do it because we know, right? I could go park my butt on a couch for the next 3 months and watch movies nonstop. And I would assume I'm fairly happy. But at the end of that, I'm going to look in the mirror and go, whoa, that was not a good business plan. Happiness is now. If we look at that past, present, future label, well, I was happy then. I could be happy if I get this. Well, what's really true is right now. It's the only thing we know. If we choose happiness right now, then that is true happiness to me.
I like that. Yeah, that really covered a lot. And Shad, let me ask you this. So we've been talking about kind of being in our own bubble. So let's break out of that a little bit. So when in the past have you not shown up properly and it's had kind of a negative impact on the result that you were hoping for? Say a job interview or maybe even losing a client.
To think about that, I'm trying to think about when I like a recent client that I've lost, and she lost 10 pounds. She showed up to every session on time. We had 10 sessions over a course of 5 weeks. And I'm like, yes, like she created amazing results. I was there, I showed up. And then when it came down to it, when it was all done, she still had some work to go. She didn't continue. And I never really got the full reason why she didn't continue. I'm not sure if it was financial, and that's what she said, but it was really weird. And it just got me thinking like, well, what did I do wrong? Did I show up? Was I doing this? It was at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I know that I woke up at 5 to get fired up to start the training. She lost 10 pounds. It got stronger. Her joint pain went away. What could be that? And so it made me think, I'm like, okay, I then need to actually talk to my clients a lot more, have more conversations with them. And I think that's where it came down to was I may not have established that personal relationship as much of, yes, coach, client, that relationship was established, but what about person to person? So I think that I need to show up a little bit more and then actually ask more questions about them being a person, try to find out ways to better understand and more relate to them on like just a personal level.
Yeah, that's interesting that that part of showing up is being sensitive to other things. It's not always about the energy. It's not always about gung-ho. Sometimes it's about that intellectual thing, like what else do they need? What else can I provide? How can I bring my brain to this? How can I bring my soul to this? So Jake, when has it come and gotten you when you kind of look back and said, I could have shown up like this, but I showed up like that, and this was the result, and maybe you weren't pleased with the result?
Well, yeah, it's real fresh.
Okay.
You guys made the point, right? I mean, Shad hit it on the head. He's like, when he said, you can be content. Don't be content with subpar results. Man, that hit a nerve. I'm not gonna lie, that totally hit a nerve. And thank you. And Peter pointed it out of meeting the person where they are, right? A little bit as far as what the clients are. So yeah, in this last week, I've had a couple opportunities that I chose not to show up the way that I know that I can, because there's a couple things. I mean, we don't need to go details, but there's some stuff in this world I'm really good at. Like I have some natural ability at some things, and with a little bit more effort, I could be amazing at. And yet I was content to go, yeah, if we're in the box, it probably lives about right here, right? I'm better than average. I'm really pretty good. And I could be this right here, but I'm cool with that. Am I actually satisfied with having done that? No, that wasn't the right thing to do. because I could have shown up. I had the ability, I have the time, I have the skill set. I made the easy decision to check out on that. And yeah, and thank you for pointing that out today.
Thanks. So Schad, what came up in the video that you did not expect?
You nailed everything on the head with what it is. The environment. It's like, yeah, are you like the way you're eating lunch? Do you have a dedicated time? Do you have a dedicated meal place? Or are you just sitting in front of your desk eating while on a Zoom call?
Right.
You know, how about your clothes and your appearance? What are you wearing? Does that make you feel good? Or does it make you feel like you're in your pajamas?
Right.
And those will make us have like different actions. So I don't know if there's something that I didn't expect in there, because I do have a good kind of understanding about how those factors influence how we feel and the decisions that we make.
That makes sense. You were reminded, and that's a happy enough answer for me. So Jake, did anything come up today that surprised you, that you didn't expect?
What stood out to me today was exactly what I needed to hear today, about the environment, how I'm showing up. Schad is here for a very specific reason today, that we would have a fitness coach showing up on this call, because I have been extremely lazy, and I will take that one for the last week. And this was, we've heard it before, right? Wake up call, if you want to do that one. No, this was a nudge.
Thank you, Schad and Jake, for being on the panel today. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. We'll be back again next week to explore the learning wall. See you all then. So if I wanted to work out with you and all I had was a mat and sliders, could I get like a full workout just with those things?
Absolutely. Even if you didn't have the sliders.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today. Schad, your energy is always welcome. And Jake, you know, it's always great to have you here as well. Thank you guys. I'm glad you had a chance to meet each other.